What's going on, people? It's David Lewis here. I'm doing a follow-up video to my previous video about the best starter gear and builds for Warframe, which was MR2. So I'm gonna say this is part 2 with MR5, and it's still somewhat beginner-ish, but it's a little higher in, so you're probably gonna have to get a good bit of time in before you can get to MR5. It's not too much, but it's still starter level. So first is the Amprex. The reason I picked this is because it is amazing for crowd control, or not crowd control, but doing damage to a lot of enemies in a group. And especially at lower levels, this thing is going to clear everything. Then I have the Axolotl Prime for the secondaries. These are probably the best secondary in the game for single target DPS. I'm pretty sure that that is 100% guaranteed, unless there's some other thing, but these scale better than any of the other ones, so you will actually need to save these for higher levels. And then for the melee, I have the Guillotine. This is actually an earlier MR weapon, but since I already used the Amprex in the last video, I mean not the Amprex, the Atarax in the last video, I didn't see that I would want to use it again, so I just picked a weapon that would look really cool and also get the job done, that people might like to use anyway, so I chose the Guillotine. And then for the Warframe, I have Rhino, because by MR5, you should be able to get him. He's just from the boss on Jupiter. He's really easy to craft, and let's get into builds. So for the build, with the Rhino, basically all the same stuff is easy to get, but what would you do is replace prime continuity with normal continuity, and fleeting expertise you should be able to get. If not, then what you'd probably want to put in is just something like rush to make you go faster, or some other mod that would help you survive, like steel fiber. And then for the Amprex, this is, all these builds are no forma, by the way. Relatively simple, easy to get. It's only 6 mods, but just these 6 are definitely enough to get the job done at the lower levels that you're going to be fighting. If you want to save this to get a little bit higher up, then just put some forma on it, and there you go. Then you have Axolotl Prime. I know it says I have 3 forma, but if you actually take out the forma and put this build in, it will just fit. And for this, I have Pistol Gambit and Target Cracker for the critical damage, Barrel Diffusion for multi-shot, and Hornet Strike. Those are all, and Lethal Torrent. You're going to have all of these in no matter what. And then you have 2 elementals, which I chose Pistol Pestilence and Convulsion, just to get to Corrosive. And then the Guillotine, which, again, I don't have any crazy mods on here. The hardest thing to get is probably Berserker, and I bet someone would just trade that to you for free anyway. And Cleaving Whirlwind you can get for like 5 plat or less. So you should easily be able to trade for that. Alright, so I have a wide spread of corrupted enemies to test on, and the reason I do this is just so you can see how each thing is good against each type of enemy. And also, you're not going to be finding this widespread of any enemy at MR5 unless somehow you got to the Void, which I don't think you would. And also, they're level 30. So at MR5, most of the stuff you're going to be fighting is only going to be about level 20 anyway. So this is more than enough than what you are going to see. So first with the Amprex, you just, if there's a group enemy, just do this. Oh, look, they're gone. They're gone. That's all it is. So the one thing you got to worry about with Amprex is just your ammo. But as long as you have ammo, you're going to be completely fine. And also with Rhino, as long as you keep your 2 up, you are nothing's going to hurt you. So you just got to keep in mind how much health your 2 has. And if you see that you're about to start taking damage, just reactivate your 2. So I can see with just the base crit mod on here, you're already getting orange crits, and all these things are going down extremely easily. And as you saw in that first group, if you have a group of enemies, this really excels. And even against these bombards, they're perfectly fine. Now let's move to the Axolotl Prime. Alright, so with the Axolotl Prime, it's just spray and pray. Like, it does too much damage. These are, like I said, I'm pretty sure the best secondary in the game. It doesn't matter what enemy it is, just point at it and click, and it will go down. As you see, it takes a little longer when the corrupted enemies are giving them damage resistance, but you gotta take them out, and then they'll fall down extremely easily. Even the bombards stand no chance against you. And these enemies, you don't even have to really aim. Just point, just hold down. They're gone. That's all you need. Alright, so the Galatine, the one thing that the Galatine has is it has a high base damage and it also has a lot of range. So as you can see, it's taking out these guys really easily. And what you want to do with this is you want to do with Cleaving Whirlwind. You want to do 2 swings, pause, and then spin. Because this is how you get your crazy combo multiplier, and that's how you do most of your damage. So just 2 clicks and then spin. So when you do your first 2 clicks, you do gotta pause just for a split second and then spin. And there's also a build up to this because you have to proc your Berserker. And once you do that, then it's a lot quicker. And later on you'll get mods called Blood Rush and Drifting Contact, which for those, they will increase your crit chance and also make your combo last longer. So your combo will then be lasting about 13 seconds instead of just the 3. And also the crit chance will build up, making it much easier to get more damage and go much faster with the Galatine. And then as far as Rhino goes, all you really need to do is just go in, make sure your 2 is activated. If you want a slight boost of damage, you'll hit your 3. And you don't really need a boost of damage against some level 30s either way. And then if you want to, click 4 and all these guys will be floating in the air and they can't do anything to you. Oh, always go for the ancients first if there are ancients in the other team. And that's Rhino. So just in case you guys wanted to see it, I'm just going to do a quick test against some level 100 heavy gunners, which is the max thing that you will ever see in a sortie, and just show how these things perform in terms of damage. Now Rhino, of course, if you do his 3, you always want to make sure at these higher levels that they are stomped, because if they're not stomped, they will destroy you. And as you can see, even though this is a low level, this Axolotl can still take them out while it's missing some mods. As far as the Amprex goes, really, I wouldn't recommend taking the Amprex in this high levels, just because as you can see, it does very little damage against these guys. Now yes, if you're going against the little fodder enemies like the Butchers and Lancers, then it still performs really good. But in terms of doing the heavily armored, it's not going to do a lot of damage. Then we have the Galatine, which actually can do a fair amount of damage as long as you keep your Cleaving Whirlwind up. So as long as you have the spin, and then do the spin. And you can actually do some okay damage. But really, I still wouldn't recommend going this high, just because it's, as you can see, it still takes a good bit of build up. So unless you can build the combo counter and get the blood rush and body count, it's not going to be as effective against these guys. But as you can see, it still can take them both out. That's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If it helped, don't forget to leave a like. I'm going to be doing another video like this on either MR8, I think I'll do MR8 or MR9, and then I'll also do an MR13, which is once you have unlocked everything. And then after that, any other suggestions that you guys want to see, just ask me in the comments, and I'll be sure to check it out. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.